Good afternoon and welcome to the Law and Life. I'm your lawyer, Patrick McGeehan. I am your best friend at your worst time. We just have a nasty crash out of Hawaii. I don't see too many Hawaii crashes, but we have a nasty fatal crash out of Hawaii. The Hawaii News Now, Annalisa Burgos is reporting on this. A 27-year-old Hawaiian man, Brennen Canumay, assaulted a woman, took off in his car, and was involved in a crash. Hawaii police say he assaulted the woman just before the crash and was in a reckless state of mind when he plowed head-on into a vehicle on the Kamehameha Highway. Authorities declined to disclose the nature of the relationship between the other woman. Witnesses says Canumay was speeding in a Ford Ranger pickup truck towards Kenoi on Kamehameha Highway around 1 p.m. Monday. They say he made a U-turn and nearly struck a pedestrian before heading the other way and weaving in and out of traffic until he struck the sedan, which is a reckless course of conduct prior to the crash, leading to charges of 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Killed in the crash were Ron and Michelle Hartman of Virginia, and their daughter Holly was in critical condition. She's still in the hospital. Canumay was also indicted on assault charges for injuries to the daughter and faces abuse of a household member charge in connection with the incident that happened before the crash. Prosecutor says this was a horrific crash that he recklessly caused on the highway. When you're weaving in and out of traffic and you're speeding, it's reckless. Canumay remains hospitalized and could face 20 years behind bars if convicted, double that if he gets consecutive sentences. He has prior convictions for speeding and 15 convictions for other traffic offenses dating back to 2017. His license was also expired. He ignored most of the penalties. Canumay is being held on $1 million bond or bail. He is currently in the hospital, so I guess they arrested him while they're in the hospital. That's not unusual. Usually they'll wait until they get out of the hospital and then arrest him so they don't have to pick up any of the medicals. But in this case, they felt that because of the nature of the crash that he should be arrested right away. So it looks like he was arrested in a hospital and he was either transported to a jail hospital or they what we used to do is just handcuff them to the bed and post a guard on them, post a corrections guard on them until they were released to corrections. And Hawaii police in this particular incident says they don't usually charge cases of vehicular manslaughter. And I don't know why. We used to charge them all the time. Whenever you have a reckless course of conduct prior to an accident, the more reckless the driver is that causes the accident, the greater their chances they're going to be charged of manslaughter. And then, of course, you always have DUI manslaughter if they're impaired, and it can even go up to murder if the facts of the circumstance present. So there's not a whole lot of evidence in this particular case. There's not a whole lot of facts in the statement released by the police, but there is one photo, and let's take a look at it. This shows the head-on collision between the Ford Ranger and what appears to be maybe, a Toyota? And you can just see the front end of the Toyota is decimated and pushed back significantly. You can see that the vehicles are a little bit offset from being straight in the lane, giving an indication of some rotation right at or just after impact. Nothing pre-crash, at least from this photo, nothing pre-crash on the Ford Ranger I could see on the roadway. And there's just not enough of pictures, or this picture just doesn't show it well enough if there's anything behind the Toyota. So of course the detectives on this particular case, they're going to pull the onboard computers of the car to help them in determining speed. If for some reason the onboard computers were damaged and they weren't usable, they could still mathematically calculate speed based on the evidence on the scene, which they'll document extensively. And like I said, when you add speeding, weaving in and out of traffic, and almost hitting somebody, and then you cause a collision and kill them, you can bet that your chances of being charged with a manslaughter charge are going to be significantly higher. And you could just see from the photos that we showed you that the front end of the Toyota is just decimated and looks to be pushed back considerably into the passenger compartment. And I'm willing to bet the 2 victims who died as a result of this accident were front seat occupants of that car. Whenever you have a head-on at any appreciable speed, you're always going to have massive amounts of energy. because there's just so much violence in those types of accidents that occur, and there's just so much energy that transfers from one vehicle to the other. And you got to figure, if you're driving along 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and what a lot of people don't realize is, your body is also going whatever speed you're traveling, and your internal organs are also going whatever speed you're traveling. So when it comes to an abrupt stop, your body stops, your organs keep going until they hit the inside of the body cavities, and that causes a lot of injuries. We see a lot of ripping of aortas and a lot of brain damage caused from those types of injuries. And it's just, very sad, especially in cases where there's no reason for it. There's no reason for this. And in most cases like this, there's no reason for these accidents to occur. They're completely preventable. So if you like these accident analysis, this one's not a whole lot to go on, but it is a really bad case. And it's a really nasty case, so I thought you might be interested in hearing about it. If there's any cases you're worried about of this nature, any fatal cases that are making the news in your particular area you would like me to take a look at, make sure you send me a link to it. This one came from a viewer, and I looked for more information, but there's not a whole lot of information on this case because it is still new. And of course, if anything else comes out, I will bring that to you. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me here on The Law and Life. Please like and subscribe, and I appreciate your time you spend with me to listen to things that I'm passionate about and information that I like to pass along to you. And as always, feel free to comment down in the comments section and argue amongst yourselves. Have a great day.